Have you ever noticed how some women age like fine wine, effortlessly graceful, magnetic, and completely untouchable? Today, I'm going to reveal 6 small habits that make an older woman look elegant without even trying, and the best part, you can start them today. Elegance is often mistaken for extravagance, for the high price of clothes, or the flawless appearance of youth. But true elegance is far simpler, far subtler, and far more enduring. It is the quiet, almost invisible result of small, consistent habits that shape the way a woman carries herself, the way she moves through the world, and the way others perceive her without her having to say a word. These habits are not learned overnight, nor are they forced. They are cultivated intentionally, practiced patiently, and internalized deeply until they become second nature. For an older woman, elegance is not a destination but a lifestyle, a series of conscious choices that communicate grace, self-respect, and quiet confidence in ways that loud gestures never could. Every habit, no matter how small, has the power to shape perception and influence presence. And it is within these tiny, repeated actions that the secret of effortless sophistication is found. The first habit of an elegant woman is the way she manages her posture and movement. It may seem trivial to some, but posture is one of the most powerful signals of self-assurance and control. An upright spine, shoulders back yet relaxed, and a natural, unhurried gait project confidence without arrogance. It is in the way she sits at a table, the way she reaches for a cup of tea, and the way she crosses a room that elegance is revealed. This kind of poise is not rigid, it is fluid, natural, and deliberate. She does not fidget, she does not rush, and she does not overcompensate. Every step is a message of calm authority and refined awareness. It is a habit developed over time, reinforced by mindfulness and attention to detail, and it becomes as much a part of her as her voice or her smile. People notice when a woman moves with purpose and grace, and they are drawn to that magnetic, effortless presence without ever understanding why. Closely connected to movement is the habit of cultivating calm composure. An elegant woman understands that her emotions do not need to control her actions. She practices patience in moments of frustration, chooses her words carefully in moments of conflict, and resists the temptation to react impulsively. This self-control is not suppression but mastery. It allows her to navigate social situations with confidence and dignity. People are naturally drawn to those who remain composed under pressure because calmness communicates security, wisdom, and inner strength. Developing this habit requires awareness and reflection, the willingness to pause before responding, and the understanding that elegance is as much about what she does not do as it is about what she chooses to do. Composure is contagious. It elevates conversations, interactions, and environments, and it leaves a lasting impression long after the woman herself has left the room. Another essential habit is attention to personal grooming and presentation, but with subtlety rather than ostentation. An elegant woman invests in herself not to impress others, but to honor herself. Her wardrobe may not be extravagant, but it is thoughtful, well-fitted, and harmonious. She understands the power of neutral tones, classic cuts, and textures that complement her natural features. Her accessories are selected with intention, never excessive, always enhancing the overall impression rather than overshadowing it. Makeup, if she chooses to wear it, is understated and enhances rather than masks. Hair is maintained with care, reflecting her personal style and identity. This habit is less about following trends and more about creating consistency, reliability, and refinement in how she presents herself. Over time, these choices build a visual narrative of elegance that communicates self-respect, discernment, and cultivated taste. Equally important is the habit of nurturing emotional intelligence and social awareness. An elegant woman listens more than she speaks. She is genuinely interested in the people around her, asking thoughtful questions, remembering details, and responding with empathy and insight. She avoids gossip, petty arguments, and the temptation to dominate conversations. Instead, she elevates dialogue by offering perspective, encouragement, or subtle humor when appropriate. This habit requires observation, reflection, and the cultivation of patience, but it pays dividends in the form of authentic respect and influence. People feel understood and valued in her presence, which strengthens relationships, opens doors, and fosters trust. Emotional intelligence allows her to navigate social dynamics with ease, maintain dignity even in challenging situations, and exude a quiet, magnetic charm that others cannot replicate. The habit of continual learning and curiosity is another cornerstone of effortless elegance. She reads, explores, and engages with the world in ways that expand her mind and refine her character. This intellectual engagement is not for show, but for growth, and it subtly shapes her conversations, perspectives, and the confidence with which she expresses herself. People are drawn to those who are informed, thoughtful, and capable of offering insights without arrogance. By cultivating knowledge and wisdom as a habitual practice, she demonstrates that elegance is not superficial, but rooted in depth, substance, and the ability to contribute meaningfully to any discussion or situation. This habit also reinforces her independence, self-assuredness, and the quiet authority that comes from being secure in her own understanding of the world. Finally, the habit of self-care, both physical and mental, plays an indispensable role. Elegance is not solely about appearances, it is about energy, vitality, and presence. Regular attention to nutrition, exercise, rest, and mental well-being ensures that she moves through life with clarity, strength, and resilience. These habits, though simple, are repeated consistently, creating a foundation upon which all other forms of elegance rest. She understands that neglecting her body or mind diminishes her ability to present herself fully, and she treats these practices not as chores, but as affirmations of self-worth. Over time, the cumulative effect of these small, deliberate actions is remarkable. She radiates health, confidence, and an effortless charm that inspires admiration rather than envy. Each of these habits may seem minor when viewed in isolation, but their combined effect is transformative. Elegance, after all, is not a single act, a single outfit, or a single compliment. It is the product of consistent, intentional behavior that reinforces a woman's sense of self and the way she engages with the world. These daily practices create an invisible aura that communicates refinement, wisdom, and quiet power. People may not always be able to articulate why they are drawn to her, but they feel it immediately in the way she walks, speaks, listens, and exists in her environment. Developing these habits requires patience, mindfulness, and commitment, but it is within this consistency that effortless elegance is born, a living testament to the power of small actions repeated over time, shaping not just appearance but character, presence, and influence in ways that are both profound and enduring. Elegance is not only about appearance or posture, it is equally about presence, self-care, and the way a woman inhabits her own life. Mastering the art of effortless self-care and mindful presence is a habit that transforms not only how others perceive her, but also how she experiences the world. It begins with awareness, an understanding that every action, every word, every pause carries weight and sends a message. An elegant woman knows that she cannot control the world around her, but she can control the energy she brings into it, and this awareness shapes her daily choices, her routines, and her interactions. Mindful presence is about living intentionally, paying attention to the moment, and being fully engaged without needing to dominate or demand recognition. This habit, cultivated over time, becomes a quiet signature of refinement, a signal that she is comfortable in her own skin and confident in her value. Self-care in this context is not indulgent or superficial, it is foundational. It encompasses the physical, emotional, and mental dimensions of life, recognizing that elegance cannot flourish without well-being. She treats her body with respect, nourishing it with wholesome food, maintaining regular physical activity, and allowing herself the rest necessary to restore energy. These practices are not about achieving a particular aesthetic, but about cultivating vitality, posture, and grace. A woman who moves with energy, whose body is aligned and strong, conveys a presence that is impossible to ignore. Exercise and movement are approached as rituals, not obligations, transforming them from chores into acts of self-respect that ripple outward into every interaction. Equally important is mental and emotional self-care. An elegant woman protects her inner world with the same dedication she applies to her external presentation. She recognizes that boundaries are essential, that not every opinion needs to be absorbed, and not every conflict needs to be engaged. She invests time in reflection, journaling, meditation, or whatever practice allows her to remain centered, grounded, and calm. By managing her internal landscape, she ensures that her presence in the external world is intentional rather than reactive, composed rather than frantic. This habit of tending to her mind and emotions creates a serene, confident energy that others sense instantly, drawing them in and inspiring trust, admiration, and respect. Mindful presence also manifests in how she communicates. She chooses words deliberately, listens attentively, and responds with thoughtfulness rather than haste. Conversations become opportunities to connect, to offer insight, or to uplift, rather than to compete or dominate. The elegance of her presence is amplified by her ability to hold space for others without diminishing herself, creating an atmosphere in which people feel heard, valued, and respected. She understands that silence can be as powerful as speech, that a pause can communicate reflection, composure, and intelligence. This balance of engagement and restraint is central to the habit of mindful presence, shaping relationships and social dynamics with subtle but profound influence. Another critical aspect of self-care and presence is emotional resilience. Life, particularly as one grows older, brings challenges, losses, and unexpected changes. An elegant woman faces these moments with grace, allowing herself to feel deeply but refusing to be consumed by negativity. She develops coping strategies, cultivates optimism, and practices gratitude, ensuring that her presence remains uplifting and composed even in the face of adversity. This resilience is not about perfection or denial of pain. It is about choosing how to respond to life's inevitable difficulties in a way that honors her dignity and maintains her influence. By habitually practicing emotional resilience, she models strength and elegance simultaneously, showing that sophistication is not superficial but deeply rooted in character. Self-care extends to the environment she cultivates around herself. She surrounds herself with people, spaces, and experiences that reinforce her values, nurture her growth, and inspire positivity. She declutters not only her physical space, but also her social and mental spaces, ensuring that distractions, toxicity, and chaos do not diminish her presence. This habit of curating her surroundings is subtle but profoundly impactful, as it allows her to operate from a place of clarity and calm, reinforcing the effortless elegance that is both visible and felt. People unconsciously absorb the harmony, balance, and intention in her environment, which further amplifies the impression of grace and refinement that emanates from her. Finally, the habit of joyful engagement with life elevates self-care into a practice of artful living. She seeks beauty in small moments, engages with curiosity, laughter, and creativity, and nurtures passions that enrich her experience. Elegance is amplified by vitality, and vitality is nurtured through habits that allow her to feel alive, inspired, and present. This is not about performing happiness for others. It is about cultivating a life that feels rich, balanced, and intentional from within, a life that radiates outward and influences every interaction, every environment, and every perception. Through these habits, the older woman who invests in self-care and mindful presence becomes magnetic not because she seeks attention, but because she embodies completeness, dignity, and refinement. Her elegance is effortless precisely because it is habitual. It is the product of repeated, intentional choices rather than fleeting effort or external validation. Those around her sense it immediately, a calm confidence, a polished demeanor, a graceful poise, and a deep, seated assurance that comes from the consistent practice of caring for herself, her mind, her body, and her presence in the world. This habitual mastery of self, care, and presence ensures that she navigates life with grace, resilience, and influence, leaving an indelible impression that resonates far beyond appearances, transcending age and time, and establishing her as a woman who is not only elegant in her movements, but profound in her impact,